Okay, so here today, what we're going to do is put the shadow of the trees, the climbing plant, before we add the yellow, the green, I'm sorry, the green. Okay, so there are a couple of ways of doing this. I have here burnt umber and ultramarine violet, and I'm putting a bit of white in this these two colors. So what I can do is do this. Take this color and then just go down, darken in this area here. And usually what I do is I highlight the wall and I leave the dark areas, the dark part. I don't highlight them. But today I'm just going to do it the other way around. Usually what I do is I have a dark wall and then I start highlighting where the light is, the sun is, and I leave the dark areas. This time I'm going to do it the other way around. So this time I'm using kind of a glaze, and I'm just using the dark color in there to darken and create that shadow where I think the plant is going to cast a shadow over the wall. This is one way. I'm just using the corner of my brush. It's like a glaze. It's not heavy. It's transparent color. And you can see it's just giving me that soft, beautiful shadow in there. Now the other way of doing this is mix a color. I'm going to mix it with the brush and put some, take white, because I want softness. I don't want it to be too dark. I just want it to be soft. It's there, it's dark, but it's not heavy. It's not dark, brown. Because, you know, acrylic dries darker. Okay, so this is a good, I think it's a good color. I'm going to take a piece of any cloth or 100% cotton or any kitchen towel. Pick up this and then go like this. It gives you a warm, a very nice, soft shadow. If you want to take a bit more of the darks.
Linnell, did you wet the cloth or?
No, no, the paint is wet, not the cloth. The paint. You could wet the cloth if you like. It's fine. Whatever. I mean, if it works, it's fine. I'm softening this color by adding a little bit more white when I get here in this area here, because this part here right there down is usually a little bit lighter than this part up here, because this is where the heavy plant is, the heavy foliage is. Let's do this. I'm going to do that in here. So you can see this is a little bit softer than this part here. I'm going to soften this part. Now I'm going to dip my brush in a bit, my piece of cloth in water, a little bit, just a little bit, because it's getting too dry. Okay, it's perfect. Okay. This is just a glaze of the same color. This is not needed. You don't need to do this right now. We don't need to do anything right now. Just keep it just the way it is. And then we will add shadow of some leaves with after with the brush. I'm gonna stop recording. Not stop, pause. Okay, so we're going to do the same idea, same method, using sap green. So I have sap green here. I'm just going to bring in a little bit of that ultramarine violet into my sap green, which makes it really dark, which is okay. I mean, we want it to be dark. A little bit of brown and lots of sap green. And sap green is going to go over the brown area anyway, so it will dry darker. But the reason I'm putting some other colors in there in the sap green, just because it changes the color of the sap green from a color that's not nature green. So now I have a good color green. I'm going to do the same. I'm not going to add white at this point. Just take this and see. Okay, this is a happy accident right there. I'm keeping the dark green inside mostly where the brown is.
So this is where the leaves are going to be, right?
Yes, yes. And they're going to extend. I'm going to extend the leaves as well. But when I extend the leaf with the brush, it's going to be, showing a little bit more of the leaves, not a mass of dark color. And then we'll use the brush to show leaves. Then we'll open it up with a bit of yellow, the wall, so it's not heavy. But as a first layer. Okay. softer in here, this area, and then I'm gonna soften. Let me see if I add a bit of white at this point for the edge, because you don't want the edge to be too heavy. Soft green would be good. Jesus, you can paint the whole thing like this. Okay, let's leave it like this. Let it dry, and then we'll come back and we will work on the door a bit, or the frame of the door. Maybe put the color of the door. This is a good start for the green in here. And maybe what we should do is just put the green over here as well.
Okay to have some of the background showing through, I guess.
Pardon?
Okay to have some of the background color showing through.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. As usual.
No, it's happened. My fingers have got into this. I like this.
Mine too. Look, it's green. All right, but it took less time. We did it very quick, and we're gonna move on to cleaning up this part. I'm gonna pause. Okay, so wall, Naples Yellow, a little bit of raw umber and white, and I'm just cleaning up a bit in certain areas. Just give it a bit of a highlight. We don't have to do everything right now. Just a couple. Cleaning up. Couple of brush strokes. Let's keep all of this up here dark. highlight a little bit here. We're going to have to do this again once we put the leaves on. Once we start highlighting the tree, we'll have to do this again, not in putting the color all around like this, what we're doing right now. No, but we'll take a small brush, round brush, and we'll go in and open up green like this inside between the leaves. But for now, this is good enough. Let's put a bit in here. This is dry brush. I'm just softening this part. This is good. This is good. We did this part. Now, let's work on the door. We need to fix this before we do anything. We don't want to put the tree and the leaves and everything and then work on the awning and then on the trim of the door. We should finish the trim, and we should decide on the color of the door too. I mean, we are going to be using pink for the flowers, so I'm thinking, okay, let's see what we can do for the door. It'll be nice to use Naples Yellow and some blue, because that will keep the colors in the same. All right, okay, I found it. I was yesterday mixing colors, and I came up with a nice color using Naples Yellow. Now we can use Naples Yellow and Cerulean Blue, or Naples Yellow and Phthalo blue with white. Okay, let's see. I'm going to show you colors and we can decide together. This is phthalo blue. And it's turquoise. You see how it's a beautiful, beautiful color. And this is Naples Yellow. Now, this is a very, very strong color, turquoise color. Usually what I do is I take a little bit of raw umber, put it in the color, and that will tone it down and make it more earthy. A little bit kind of a brownish right there. And also what I do is I put white in it. And white makes a big difference. It softens color quite a bit. So it's mostly a color that's kind of a turquoise, kind of aqua blue for the door.
That's the color your box is in.
Is that the color? Is that the color?
Similar.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No?
And I'm not sure this light blue violet will work with pink flowers.
No?
I think it might look pink and blue.
Now the other way of doing this is using Naples Yellow with Cerulean Blue, which will give you a toned down, beautiful color as well for the door. That's different right there. You see the difference from this one to this one. This is gray, kind of a gray color. And if we put white in it, it's gonna more of a gray blue. I like this more than this. This is beautiful, but not for the door. This is more kind of door.
Cerulean and
Yeah, cerulean and Naples Yellow. We don't
my
even.
favorite color.
Yeah, yeah.
Love it.
We don't even have to put a raw umber in it. It's good just the way it is. We might need to put a bit of raw umber in it in the areas where it's darker, but I don't think we need to actually. We'll be fine. I can put it on my door and then you'll see if you like it or not, because I can always remove it if we don't like it. Paint over it. Oh, I like this color. Ah, nice. Let's take a bit of I'll see what will happen if we add a little bit of raw umber in there. Touch. Very small amount. I think this color will look nice with pink flowers. Looks like it's going to rain again.
That's it. It's
Well,
sunny
it's
here.
windy. Windy.
Yes, very windy here too.
This cat's looking more and more like a weasel.
Yeah, I was thinking mine was too.
Okay. I think that would look really nice. This color.
I like it.
Me
I like it a
too.
lot.
Yeah, it's lovely, and it's gonna look fantastic with the pink, flowers. Oh, so exciting! I like this. Okay,
So we're taking the waves out of the door, are we? The
the
two curvy lines. Yeah.
curvy lines this way.
Yeah, the two curvy lines out of the door. Yeah, you're taking those out?
No, no, I'm keeping
No.
them. But you will I will once I start. I'm gonna work on the door more. But this is just the first layer. So I kept a little. You can see a little bit of a line here that tells me where the curve lines are. So once we start highlighting and adding the second layer of color, it will be then I'll highlight. So I'll darken underneath this and highlight over here, and you'll see it will look like more and more like a door with the frame and everything.
Did you use a different color on the outside part of the door?
No, I didn't. You know what happened is I loaded my brush with the paint, and then I put the paint right here, and it looked kind of heavy paint. But then I thought I'm going to put another layer. I don't want to put too much. I don't like to put a heavy paint right away. So I like to layer my colors, my paint. So with this one here, I added a tiny bit of water, just kind of a little bit, and made it a little bit lighter. I mean, more transparent, not as heavy. Now for the frame, and this is the part where it takes a lot of work. But once we do this, we're okay. We can move on, and everything else should be easier. I'm going to use titanium buff for the frame. And same, I'm going to use raw umber. And I'll see if I'm going to need white later on, and that's it. I'm not going to use too many colors. These two are fine. It will give me a warm off-white color. And if I want to highlight more, I'll use white after. But for now, don't forget that certain areas, they should be dark. And actually, you know what? Now I just remembered. Let's use Ultramarine Violet as well. Not too, it's not supposed to be too dark, but darker than the rest of the, and I'll show you where. So I have here titanium buff, raw umber, and ultramarine violet. I'm just going to mix them together. A soft kind of darker off-white color that has, you can see the ultramarine violet in it more than the brown. It has a bit of brown, but the ultramarine violet is more. Okay. And it's not too dark. So I'm going to come here, and you'll see even with this, it's going to look light. Oh, that's good, actually. I know in the reference, this part is brown or black, but I'm just going to paint it the same color as the rest of the door. Okay, good. That's a good color. all of this area that I'm painting right now has a tiny bit of a shadow because of the plant, the tree over it. And then we will highlight the bottom part. But before we do this, we're going to put one layer. I like to put a darker layer first. This is inside, but it's not too, I mean, it's not a big difference between this part and this part, this column and the frame. It's a little bit in, but you'll see in a minute. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to finish putting color here. Okay. Ultramarine Violet is such a soft color. It doesn't take over, but it does make everything, all the, you know, it makes the paint, the color looks darker, but it doesn't take over. It's not overwhelming. Okay. This is a tiny bit of titanium white. You take titanium white, mix it with the color I have. You could mix it just with titanium buff if you like. Wipe my brush. And I'm going to come and add a highlight. This color that I'm going to start from here. Let's take a little bit more of the titanium buff. You could put, if you like, masking tape, if you want to have a straight line. It's easier, especially here. And I'm going to mix a tiny bit of more kind of darker color here, and then blend, try to blend it with the one on top. That's better. There. That's why I'm starting with the frame that's between the door and this one here, because this is a kind of a bit of a messy job right here. You see how this is lighter here and this is darker over on this side? Now, the same thing is going to happen. I'm going to do the same here. This comes out more, this part. I know this part is boring and tedious. All right, that's good. Unfortunately, with acrylics, you'll have to adjust the values all the time. Wait for it to dry. See if you need to highlight it more, darken it, highlight it. That's the way with, that's the thing with acrylics. I'm not too concerned about the details in here, because once the flowers are going to be hanging over, you're not going to see most of these things. Most of the detail here is not going to be, flowers are going to cover a lot of this. I change my brush into a round one, taking medium tone here, not too light, not too dark, and I am trying to highlight a little bit. Don't take your highlight all the way up. If you want to do that, just with a dry brush, kind of. I'm taking here at this point more raw umber, mixing it with titanium buff, just raw umber and titanium buff. Round brush. And over here, you're welcome to put as well, you know, if you like, a masking tape to get a straight line. I'm getting, slowly, I'm getting depth in here. And it looks like, you know, this part of the door right here is in, and this part is out. All right, we're getting there. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to continue with this part around the door, but I'm going to put masking tape. This way I can concentrate more on the lights and darks, on my values, instead of trying to figure out, make sure that I'm painting in between the line, and it's too much to do at the same time. This way I'm just going to do this right there. Oh my goodness. There. Take some of the dark part, a little bit, and just go over it slowly, softly with the dark, so I have a nice transition. Let's see. All right, cool. Wow, yeah, much better. Much, much better than this side. Okay. All right. I know we have a little bit of a cute design. Let's mix titanium buff and white. I am trying to keep my colors simple, not to mix too many colors, so we can get every time, if we come back to do this next week, it'll be the same. We'll get the same colors. Okay, let's see. I can't remember what the design looks like, but I think it's something like this. Oh, yeah. Let's see, is it easier to, if it's easier to put an outline, because now I got them mushy, kind of. Okay. I need to keep my light, my colors, my value darker, a little bit darker, so I can see the highlight when I highlight it. If everything is highlighted light, I won't be able to see the design. And you can You probably saw that when I put the motif in there. It went, because everything is the same value, it just kind of looked like a mush. There's nothing in there. Okay. I mean, this part is not the focal point, but just a cute little design. Okay. Let's do this side. And of course, if you don't want to put this, that's fine too. If you don't want to bother with this motif, no problem. I'm going to take raw umber and make it more kind of watery. And I'm going to put shadow here, darker line, a line in there. That's because this motif right there that I'm doing is not. It's a little bit raised from the frame, so it's not. You will see a little bit of a darker line. Actually, I don't have to put it right now. I can put it later on. But even here, okay, if I take this color and I just go with my round brush down like this. Once I highlight this part, you will see there's a shadow line in between. So it separates this from the inner frame from the outer one. You can hardly see it right now, but once I have the door in there, you'll see it more. It'll look better. It needs a little bit of work, but it will be fine. Okay. Now, we must put a frame outside. So I'm going to take just titanium buff, a little bit of white, and again, kind of the same idea. And let's see how it's going to look once we remove the masking tape. It's drying darker, which is fine. Okay, I have to be careful because it's lifting. And let's do this. Let's see. Now all of this is going to be camouflaged with the flowers. All of what I'm doing right now, we're not going to see most of it. It's going to be hidden. Not hidden, but it's not going to show that much. Because once we put the flowers, this is the focal point. It's going to take over. And even though I removed the masking tape, I still can work inside it. It's still easier. All right, let's do the other one. I know I'm going too fast, but at least if we can do one, little kind of a bit of this door, the frame, just the frame. I find that doing the frame is the hardest, and then after that, it's easy. I can't promise it's going to be easy, but easier, I should say. Okay. Oh, I can hear masking tape. This is just raw umber, but I have water in it. So it's a kind of a glaze. I'm glazing this line. All right, that's good. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Okay. It looks very light in the on the monitor. It's not that, it's not that white. Let me see if I can reduce the exposure so you can see, maybe like this. There. I can see this part of the door right here is leaning down. Let's push it up. Okay. I'm just highlighting the tip or the top part of this detail, not the whole thing. All right, so I'm going to take titanium buff with a bit of white, round brush, and I'm just going to highlight the top part of this motif and leave the rest darker, just because this motif turns in, and when it turns in, it's darker at the bottom. I'm just adjusting the size of these detail. Okay. All right, that's good enough. I'm not going to bother with more details in here. This is more than enough. Just soften this with raw umber and glaze it with raw umber. All right, it's good. All right, it's good. it's enough for today. We did a lot. So next week we'll work on the door and we'll just work a bit on this side and then start working on the tree because the tree is going to make a big difference. All right, this week we did a lot. So we finished the frame and we decided on the color of the door. And next week we'll start putting some foliage and leaves and we'll continue work on it.